Hey Capricorn, this is your May 2023 reading. Let's get started. Oh my goodness, things are going good for you, Capricorn. Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh my gosh, what a reading. Okay, yay. All right, for Major Arcana, we have one, two, three, four major arcana. It's going to be a really heavy hitting month for you too. All right, so here we go. At the center of your reading, what's going on presently with you is you are shining bright. You're doing something you're going through a glow up. There's something very positive and healing. It's your time in the spotlight. Having the star being crossed by the Empress is birthing a dream. It's also looking like a dream. It's producing something, creating something that is being seen and acknowledged by others in the world. This could also be some sort of beauty invention of some kind. There is something very future forward about this, very face forward about this energy. This is also celebrity. This is interior design and anything to do with being in the spotlight for some sort of creative endeavor. The Queen of Wands is nearby, so it's giving even more of an amplification of this being like a fashion statement or modeling or some sort of confident kind of expression of self that is vulnerable. Some of you could be doing some nude modeling because of the star being there, and she's a little bit exposed. It's her vulnerable side. If that's a literal thing for you, I don't know. But there is this kind of, there's this spotlight on you, and it's having to do with beauty and creation, and it could be also a healing time, a regenerative time. So you could be going to the spa or working at a spa or being highlighted as somebody who works in the beauty industry in some sort of publication of some kind. This is like a really great reading. So in the past, you had the drive to get from being in a place that had maybe some struggle. You went through a challenge of some kind and were able to take that challenge and use it to fuel you forward and be the momentum that pushed you into success. And so there was a big success, a big win, a big victory over challenges in the past. And now you are presently being seen for this. You're being acknowledged for this. There's a spotlight on you for this. There could be some kind of glow up or major success happening where you are the center of attention. The Queen of Wands would take no less than the center of attention. Now, and neither the Empress, neither the Star. So they are their true selves. They're beautiful in their true selves. This is also authentic beauty. This is beauty that comes from within and is expressed outwardly and radiates outwardly. It's something that's more of a organic kind of divine light shining through you. You're glowing. There's so much going on. Okay, so what you're thinking, you feel like you've attained the dream. There's something that you got recently, or that you've a place in your life that you've come to recently that is making you feel very happy, very content. You feel like you've put structure to your dreams and made them a reality, and you're thinking that way. You're also able to see the positive light of things, the positive side of things more now. Um, you could be really happy right now, and or coming into a time where you will be thinking that, like, it doesn't get better than this, right? The whole picture has come together for you. You also could be thinking a lot about your family right now. That is a potential. You also could be thinking about marriage or commitment at this time. Um, there's a lot that can come with the Ten of Cups. What you're not aware of, that you are seen as somebody who is confident, maybe. You might also not be aware that you have the power to manifest anything you desire at this time. You might also not be aware that you have achieved some sort of status that people it's almost like she's she's very flamboyant, right? She's very flaunty. She's very fashionable and kind of a diva, right? You might be not realizing just how confident you are, or how self-expressive you're being at this time. You might be showing off a little bit more, and you might not be aware of it. This is not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. The Queen of Wands is somebody who turns heads, right? Just like the Empress and the Star. So she gets a lot of attention. You might not be aware of just how much attention you are grabbing at this time. In the future, I see that something may not sit with you as well as you might have liked emotionally. It might not be as emotionally fulfilling. So something that was making you happy, or is making you happy now, may not be all that it's cracked up to be, or you might feel like you can do better, or there's maybe more out there for you that will be more emotionally fulfilling. And I think you get it, because it seems like maybe there's a love relationship that, like, work is going great, and maybe there's a love relationship that's maybe not emotionally feeling exactly the way you'd want it to. But also, this is an eclipse. We are heading into the next eclipse. We're in eclipse season right now. So Capricorn, this card is ruled by Mars and Scorpio. Okay, so Mars being the ruler of Scorpio, and us being in a Scorpio time period for an eclipse, I think this will come in, this change of heart will come in, or this understanding of what's one's own emotional needs, around the time of the next eclipse. If not, it will play out over the period of a 1 to 3 month cycle, or the next eclipse that's in the same cycle of Scorpio Mars eclipses. So it's coming. There's something here, whatever hasn't been fulfilling. I think you're unaware of just how attractive that you are. And what's crossing you is this success, right? This birthing of some new project or new you. This abundance is coming in. You're getting a lot of attention. I feel like these are cameras almost. there's something to do with social media, even, um, because Aquarius rules the internet, right? It's very futuristic. So there's something about the internet, social media, beauty, beauty stuff, beautifying yourself, maybe pictures you're putting out on social media, and you're getting a lot of attention. You might not realize that you are getting a lot of attention in some way, shape, or regard, or you're finally being vulnerable and putting yourself out there more online. This could be on dating apps, this could be on. So if you're single, there's a big chance that you may very well be putting yourself out there to find somebody, and you are very attractive. You might not know you are, you might not think you are, but right now you're at an all-time glow up high. So this would be a time to do it. Mercury is retrograde, so I mean, technology stuff might be a little bit hazy for a little while, but that's okay. It'll be over in mid-May, I think, after the shadow period's over. So, now, this can also be about photography. So if you are getting into photography or have been for a while, I see that being very successful. Some new photography portfolio, some kind of project is going to be taken. I don't think you realize just how you're developing a confidence with something. You're building up this kind of what is it, brand almost? It feels like a brand because I have such aesthetic, you know? It's just the look of something that's important. It's your look. It's you're finding who you are. You're expressing that at a core level. You're being vulnerable about your dreams, your wishes, and your hopes. You're putting them out there into the universe, and they're being manifested and created into the tangible reality. And you're being resourceful. You know that you don't have to necessarily worry about your resources because everything is so fruitful for you all the time. You're just manifesting newness everywhere you go. And there's this kind of quality of just not even knowing that you're the shit. You don't even know that you're the shit. Like, it feels to me like maybe a success of the past pushed you forward and pushed you over the line into star quality in some sort of way. Like you went viral online, or you put a test photo out for modeling and it got picked up by some sort of agency. There's this kind of, or you're hoping that it is. It's getting a lot of flack. It's getting a lot of clout. Whatever it is, it's getting a lot of attention. There's a lot of attention right now on you and what you're doing, what you're creating, the successes that you've had, and it's making you very happy that you've achieved this thing. But I think now that you've achieved it, in the future, you might be like, okay, I've done this, so what's next? I want to do something else now. I've already achieved this emotional attainment, but now I'm feeling like I could do better. I could do something more. I could do something different. So that's that. And it will probably, this new different thing that you're going to try to do might come around this eclipse season that we're in. So within a month or two. So what your advice is? Your advice is to take your time making plans and planting seeds for the future that you think you want to grow, and taking the laid back approach to, maybe not laid back in terms of like just not being as effective, but being efficient and not rushing through the process, and really getting to know and what you're going to do next and familiarize yourself with it before you go on and go gung-ho into it. So that's good advice. this is also the slowest moving night, so it's telling you to take your time, and especially with financial matters in regards to this new venture, really plan everything out and double check, cross your T's, dot your I's, in terms of your resources, so that you have enough to be able to move forward in this new direction. So if this is a job that's creative and it's going well, don't just leave it right away. Maybe make plans, like set yourself up with putting your foot in the water with something else and see if that's going to work. Of course, you do you, but this is what I'm seeing. So now, if this is about a relationship, um, in the past it was a very big success. Maybe you've been very happy, or you felt very happy that you've attained something, but maybe there's an emotional change in you that's going on during this period. Maybe somebody new comes in that kind of, or you're getting attention from other people, and that's kind of, I don't think you notice, like, maybe there was a settling down. You were thinking about settling down, and now you're kind of thinking like, maybe that's not what I want. Maybe that's not exactly who I am anymore. You're realizing your own power. Might be You might be realizing that you might be like able to try something else. Maybe you want to try something else. This is a very sexual combination in the middle there. So whatever doesn't emotionally serve you anymore, you will be leaving behind. It will be a loss and a giving up of things, but in the end, you will be going towards emotional satisfaction. Money isn't everything. Achieving, sometimes we are hoping for something so much and we get it, and then we realize, like, well, it made me happy for a while, but now I'm uneasy, I'm unsettled, I kind of am itching to do something else. So now, other people see you as somebody who is very skilled or talented at what you do. So if you do any kind of trade or just any kind of job at all, doesn't matter what it is, people see you as being very skilled at your job. If this is a trade, they see you being very skilled at your craft. This is like the highest. The computer is not registering that I'm in front of it, but I hope you can see what I'm talking about. Probably not, but I'm holding the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is like the master apprentice. Like, this person has mastered their craft to the point where they've surpassed their teacher, and they're taking their craft now and what they've learned, and they're putting little touches on it. They're refining it and making it their own. They're creating their own brand and their own flair to it. There is some sort of personalization here as well. With the Star card and the Eight of Pentacles, there's this personalization, this very intimate kind of love you have for the work that you do, and so you've been putting yourself in there. Maybe you got really successful online with something, and now you want to take that to the ground, right? Running. So you are feeling like your location might not be exactly ideal for this sort of work, so you may very well move in the near future, in order to better your business or better your location of your business, etc. So I see a lot of money coming in, taking risks, in terms of making moves in order to, and they're calculated with the Knight of Pentacles. You'll be making calculated moves and within your resources, and you'll be very thorough about everything, and probably a little bit too much. And there's no such thing as too much with the Knight of Pentacles. Taking your time, it's advising you to take your time with these decisions, so these practical decisions. So now that we're getting to the point where other people are seeing you as very skilled at this craft, So you might be getting a lot of attention from other people because they're noticing, wow, like you're doing so good at this. This is great. Um, there's also this kind of witchy vibe here because the star and the Empress, I see the Empress as like Mother Nature, right? She's like everlasting abundance. She knows the energy of all the plants. She knows what they do. She knows how that they can heal her. She can go in her backyard and pick something out of the ground and it will heal her, um, because she knows how everything works, right? And this is also the card of the witch. She is the quintessential witch, other than the high priestess, who's also kind of witchy. But this one is like more of a folk witch. I just get those folky witchy vibes with these three cards here. And the star card talks about your true self and your identity versus the collective humanity. So, and how you are part of the whole. So this is like the energetic cycles of in the divine energy flow of the universe that's coming through here, and it's very divine femme, and I just love it. It's just fucking awesome. Anyway, so now we get into this 8 of Pentacles, and you're just shining bright at whatever you're doing, and you are putting your own flair on it, and you're working hard. You might be burning yourself out a little bit because you're just like you get in a flow, and then the whole day goes by, and then you're like, oh man, I didn't do any of my other like adulting things I have to do. You might be a little bit of a workaholic right now because you're going to be getting into the flow of things, and you're going to be really almost surpassing your initial success. So you're going to hear about a success that happened with something that you did in the past, and it's going to be the fuel that kind of sparks this attention for you, and people are going to notice you, and you're going to not know just how powerful you are or how good you are at something or how attractive you are, how much potential that you actually have to create quite the life for yourself. And so a move might be in order. There might be something that has to be changed that isn't emotionally serving you anymore. So maybe a schedule. There could be something to do with the eclipse that comes in that kind of, we're going to all be going through a little bit of upheaval, some of us more than others. So there will be something that you need to walk away from during that time period that will benefit you in the long run because it will be more emotionally fulfilling down the road. Now, you get that like mastery status, right? So then we get into the real kind of like, what are your fears? You fear being restricted. You fear being stuck or being controlled. You fear power. There's like this power and control dynamic of, you might also fear your dark side, your shadow self, that the side of you that's maybe not the best side of you in terms of positive qualities, but that also might be what is actually helping you to build this great success. There's something about that will help you as long as you keep it in check and you own it. Which the star card, she owns, like, it's dark outside and yet she shines bright, She's not afraid of the night because the stars glow in the middle of the night. They bring us what little light that there is. And it seems like you're shining so bright that, like, it might be almost too much for you to handle initially, or understand. So there is this kind of, you might fear literally being like an authority on something as well. You might fear being held in high status or fear like some sort of entanglement of some kind. Maybe you don't want to be tied down. Maybe you want, if this is a relationship and you notice that your relationship isn't emotionally fulfilling you, or maybe you don't want to be tied down anymore. You're afraid of being committed to something. This is more of an obligation than a commitment type scenario when we talk about love and relationships. It's also lust and passion, you know, it's the earthly pleasures of life, and maybe you're feeling bound to somebody or somebody's feeling bound to you, but there is some sort of wanting to be free or fearing restriction. There's also, because the devil is kind of wild as well and unruly, right? Untamed. No one wants to follow the rules, right? But then also it rules Capricorn, like Saturn rules this card. So Saturn is all about rules, and it can be the one that restricts us and kind of tries to give us a framework to work within, so that we kind of stay on target and on focus and get to the top of that mountain, right? So whatever you're doing is rising you to the top. You might be fearing this success or becoming an authority on something, or an authority might be a challenge for you at this time. It could very well be that you might fear traveling abroad. You might not like planes. I see that as well. You might have to go somewhere and you don't like planes, and you're just like, I don't want to go on a plane again. But also there is this, I wish I had the Eight of Wands somewhere, because I would definitely say it was travel. But there is something about really having to face your fears of control, power dynamics, being a leader. This is a card of leadership as well. It's a cardinal card. So that's what that is. It also is kind of fearing impostoring. So it's imposter syndrome. You might not feel adequate. You know, I feel like you don't understand just how good you are at something, Capricorn. This card, she knows that she's the shit. Like, most of the time, she'll let you know that she's the shit. And it's in the subconscious mind and what you're unaware of. So you really don't know. You're searching for the confidence deep down. But you might just start, this might just start to pop up for you. It might be like a sunflower, like kind of like springing forward and blooming in your, because I see the stars like the sunflower too. Like if you water this confidence, it will grow. You are good enough. You are more than capable and good enough. I think that you are very a hard self-critic. This is also critical thinking. This is beating ourselves up, going in a cycle of self-talk, negative self-talk. So I think that's going to be ending for you. And it does, because you walk away from what doesn't emotionally serve you anymore. Maybe leave some old baggage behind that you've been carrying around for a while, no matter what it is, whether it's just internal emotional baggage or, you know, just something. And you move forward into, it's a progression from the Eight of Cups to the Nine of Cups. You achieve complete contentment. You feel like you're sitting pretty and you're full in your belly, and you have all these other things you can do and drink and be merry and kind of like a jolly, like smug comfort, you know, just totally saturated in complete emotional contentment. And I don't think I've ever seen like, so there's the 8 and the 9 and then the 10, like you're thinking the 10 of Pentacles. How can I get this? How can I achieve this? This level of emotional fulfillment. I want to be at the top of the mountain. How can I get there? Well, I think I need to leave something behind emotionally in order to do that. So you leave something behind. You end up attaining emotional contentment and satisfaction And I think you take a pause. I think you literally say, "Oh, I achieved something else," and now you plateau a little bit. And I think during that plateau, you actually really soak it in and enjoy it and take your time. Take your time, like really enjoying something, which is great because you need a break once in a while, right? And during that time, you meet somebody new. Now, this person I'm thinking is going to be a fire sign. They could be a Leo or have Leo in their chart heavily. There's this, or Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but I'm gonna go with Leo and fire signs more because the Queen of Wands is here. There is this dynamic that will happen between you and another entity and or another person, place or thing, and it will bring you harmony, and there will be like a team effort with this. There will be a sharing of emotional um, there will be emotional reciprocity here. There will be maybe a blossoming romance as well, because I do have a lot of love here. And the Knight of Wands is very passionate and sexy too, right? So it seems like a lover rushes in very fast, or there's a business partnership of some kind, because this can also be business partnership. This rules, Capricorn can rule contracts as well. They're binding contracts more so than there's it's an obligation, and it definitely is um, some heavy foundation, right? We're laying the foundation with what we're doing. This could be a work contract that ends up being wonderful, and you meet somebody during this time period and they rush in. The one thing I will say, you might not be into the commitment thing so much now. They may be into the commitment thing, or you might end up being really into them and want a commitment from them, but they're operating on that same frequency of I don't want to commit. If you were previously in a relationship, or leave a relationship during this time, and then you meet somebody very shortly after, you might fall for them and they might not be on the same page as you. But it could also go the other way around, where you just left a relationship, you want to have fun. I feel like there's a lot of fun here. This is not except for this card here, the Devil. You fear restriction. So I think you're looking for a little fun in your life, whoever this is for. And there's this like happy-go-lucky, like, I'm leaving the heavy stuff behind. Everything's turning up roses. I'm taking steady, like slow and steady steps. Taking your time to like plan things out and see things forward. Enjoy what's going on around you. Your work is going to be huge. You're going to be like almost overly overwhelmed with the amount of success you are going to have with things this period. And it's just saying take your time, because we have two knights here, right? Two knights means I think that you're going to be taking a lot of movement forward in regards to things, but you might also be approaching things very fast, and things might be going very fast for you. Don't burn yourself out. I feel like you're being advised to really take your time. If this is a new business that you start and you move to a better location to kind of do the grand opening, or move certain profiles over to a different application in order, or website to build more revenue. I feel like doing things little by little is going to be much more efficient than rushing in. But I don't see you actually listening to that advice, because I see you being completely content with having this new partnership of some kind rush in and um, kind of spice things up and like uplift you. I will go through the houses now just because I could end it here, but I've done it for everybody, and honestly, I'm sure there'll be like little secrets that pop out. Um, First house of how you are. You are glowing at this time. Your physical body will be glowing. Others will see you as glowing. They will see you as maybe having just gone through a rough patch. Like maybe they saw you months prior or weeks prior and you were looking really drab and just not yourself and very, or maybe over a course of a few months you gained some weight and now the weight has fallen off, or you look healthier after a time of being ill. And it's just like you went from being ill to being absolutely stunning. Like, and people are just like, wow. You are truly in that like shining star kind of vibes. What you're valuing natural resources at this time. Anything from nature, anything cottagecore, anything like herbal, organic, anything to do with women's rights, anything to do with like the divine feminine, and you're valuing what you're creating at this time as well, and the artistic resources you may have to create those things, whether it be, it doesn't have to necessarily be art, it can be anything beautiful. So you're valuing the beauty in your life, you're valuing your own beauty, you're valuing the beauty of nature, the luxuries that natural resources can give you. You may be decorating your home or your wardrobe with more organic kind of clothing, or earth crunchy type style like boho fashion. There is this kind of, also you might be valuing time spent outdoors, planting or nurturing the land, farming, whatever floats your boat. Um, but that's what I'm getting with that. Also, you could be growing your own food at this time. Something about producing something. You are producing something, and it's coming from a place of, beauty and natural kind of earth related materials of some kind. So whether it's just being able to enjoy the luxuries that your resources provide, and being able to enjoy the beauty and the things of the natural world. Okay, so let's see. Third house. You might see a rainbow out this month out in your neighborhood. That's just one mundane thing that's coming through. This has to do with family in the local area. So you might run into a family member in your local area. And some people will say, well, duh, because we live near our family. Well, not everybody lives near their family. Like, if I ran into my family out here, I'd be pretty shocked. So I think that there's somebody that you will bump into that will make you very happy in your vicinity. It could be a cousin, it could be a sibling. There's somebody in your local area. They could come for a visit. Family could come to stay with you. There is some sort of happy moment that will come up in your in your local neighborhood. Also, if you watch your neighbor's kids, or you you might hear that a neighbor has a baby or is getting married, or that there's some sort of happy moment being some sort of dream come true for somebody in your local area. There could be a happy moment shared with somebody there. So it's also what you're thinking about. You're thinking very positively at this time. Could be thinking about family too. Okay, so fourth house. There is going to be a lot of decorating of the home for many of you. You will be doing some sort of sprucing up your living quarters. This could be also a woman in your family that is very, very flashy in fashion and very outspoken and confident and a strong woman, who is not afraid of her own power and is quite boisterous sometimes and fun. She's very fun. So this woman could be in your family. She could be playing a big role in your family at this time. She could be the influencer, the one that's kind of in control and in charge of how things go in the family. You could also be being an influence on your a major influence on your family this time. You might be keeping up appearances with the family, not in a negative way, just like there's almost like this getting the attention of the family as well. Your happiness in the environment that you'll be getting to or are living in is going to help increase your confidence immensely. You'll be able to get to and from where you're going much easier. I also didn't say this. The Chariot card is often a car. It can be a vehicle, right? In the past, there seems to be a vehicle, and in the future, there seems to be no vehicle. But this is also about movement. So I feel like some of you might be moving to a place where you can walk around more, that you don't have to drive a car anymore. I do have a car here, though. So I have a lot of movement. This could be about getting a new car as well. This could be going on a road trip. Maybe you feel like you've been kind of restricted in some sort of way and want a little more freedom. You've been free of being held down, so you go on a road trip with somebody. Whatever you do, you're going to be very happy in the long run. So fourth house, somebody flashy, maybe decorating the home. You could be doing some almost, the Queen of Wands is very bright colors. She likes her bright colors, her oranges and her reds, and she's a statement. She likes to make a statement with anything she does aesthetically. So you could be painting a room a bright color, or just be really in touch with the springtime and bringing that like new energy into the home, in terms of the feel of your home and ambience of your home. Your family could be very proud of how you are coming across at this time, or how you hold yourself at this time. there is some major success in some sort of car racing. If this is like go-karts, or like there's some sort of like win with like a go-kart or a racetrack, or um, biking, anything with like racing with something, Mario Kart. I mean, anything that has to do with cars and racing. Um, there's a big win there. So if you gamble on like races, um, there's a potential really big win for you during this time period. I don't even know if that's going on right now, but maybe it is. I don't keep up with that stuff. Um, yeah, any kind of horse racing, any kind of gambling, or leisurely activities that involve playing games that like you race each other, there's a success there. Um, in the sixth house, I think you leave something behind that ends up helping you immensely feel much better in your stomach. There's some kind of food that you might be consuming, or you might be going on a very organic diet, or getting rid of any fillers, or there's something there about cutting out certain foods, eating a more natural and healthy kind of balanced diet that might help you um, move away from something that was maybe not, you weren't feeling that you loved or were at your best, right? Or the best you could be. So there is some sort of feeling better about things afterwards. Um, there's this kind of embracing. You might have also wanted to gain weight, and you're being seen now as having gained some weight and are looking really, really good to other people. And so this is kind of making you leave behind an old emotional kind of way of doing things or being, and going into more of a confident in your body, confident in who you are, enjoying good times with friends and family. Um, let's see. Sixth house is also health. So you're dropping something that is going to benefit you emotionally, whether that be weight, whether that be um, alcohol. Something that you're giving up is actually helping you emotionally. Um, Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a licensed medical provider. Do not do anything without checking with your qualified medical professionals, please. Thank you. Um, Putting that out there, disclaimer. Sixth house is also work. So this could be you leaving a job as well that didn't emotionally serve you. A way of working, a way of being in your day-to-day life, your routine. You may be dropping something that you used to find emotionally valuable, and now you have reason to leave it behind in order to find something that is going to give you something that will satisfy you. So I'm thinking that you're moving for work as well. Maybe some of you, there is a movement that is happening in terms of your day-to-day routine, your work life. This is also your health, so you could be starting to walk more often instead of driving for your health. Now, because the weather's better in some parts of the world, so it's probably an obvious thing. Seventh house. Taking your time with relationships or partnerships is a good idea. Really feeling things out, really getting acquainted with things. Slow and steady wins the race in terms of your open enemies and competition as well. I feel like, yeah, that's a race as well. So I'm getting like the tortoise and the hare, right? I'm getting that Aesop fable that's like about the rabbit who was fast and the turtle that was slow. And this is the turtle that's slow, right? And this is the rabbit that's fast. Maybe in the past you rushed through something, um, and now you're feeling like, well, if I really take my time, I can really produce something that's going to be more profitable or more, have more sustenance. There's more quality. I think you're going for quality instead of quantity. Um, and you're looking for more fun, instead of something that will be restrictive and draining. So I see you taking your time more and trying to enjoy life more now, um, especially having to do with any kind of partnerships. So dating might be, you might have been impulsive before, and now you're really trying to take your time and really get to know somebody and enjoy their company, and getting to know them better, and see, so that things can really have time to progress and grow in a healthy, like, good roots. You want good roots to your partnerships of all kinds, especially in business as well too, because it is, a card of finance. In in terms of your open enemies, I feel like, mm, if somebody's trying to compete with you and rush you, make you nervous and rush you through something, it might be to make you mess up. So just take your time and go slow and steady runs the race, you know. In terms of your eighth placement, the 8 is here. So 8 is a card of power. It's a card of influence as well, in terms of financial, matters, and manifestation as well. So you're manifesting, a talent at this time. You are very powerful in your manifestations at this time with creating something that you, a skill has progressed. You have really mastered something. Um, and it's in the house of the 8. So the 8 is power again. It's sometimes a little bit controlling, right? It can be power dynamics. It can go good or bad. But I feel like you're feeling very powerful in what you're doing right now. It's giving you an immense inner power from within. Um, and the devil is also about power and control dynamics as well. So these two cards, this falling here and this falling here, I can't help but feel like taking your time to really do the small details. This is like really getting tedious with the details and really making sure that something is like, you know, if it's a shoe that you're making, it's not just some Walmart brand, like, generic shoe that's thrown together in a factory. It's a work of art. It's hand tailored and beautifully, um, made, like Christian Louboutin, or some sort of, there's a reason why people go for certain looks and certain things, and that's what you're gonna be. So there's like this diva deep down inside of you that's kind of being expressed outward in terms of your creativity and what you do for your job, or something practical that you do, is being noticed by other people right now. It's just going to have its own flair. It's going to be really, um, really beautiful. The competition, I don't think, will be able to compete. Your open enemies, your competitors will not be able to compete. Even if you take your time, you know, even if you really like, there's just something that you got that no one else has. No one else can recreate it. You might be also being, yeah, so others are seeing your work ethic. Others are seeing that you're working really hard at something, that you're very skilled at something. All right, I'm going to move on to the next thing. So there might be restrictions on travel. And I don't mean that like necessarily, I don't know if it's necessarily that things are going to be restricted in the same way that they were before, but there's some sort of restriction on your travel. So maybe you forgot to get a passport or something. There's some sort of authority that is restricting your travel at this time. So maybe your license expired and you need to get a new one and you didn't get it and now you don't have a license, you have to go get it renewed. Maybe you lost your license for whatever reason. It could have been for any reason at all. And now there's like this Pascal troll that's like, where's this? And you're like, oh, I don't have that. Well, then I was like, too bad. So you might have lost a passport or something, or so be waiting on an authority, figure of travel authority to kind of give it to you when they can get it to you, and so there's a restriction there with travel. You also might be very obligated at this time to kind of focus on your beliefs. There's this kind of spiritual, you're defining the spiritual parameters of your belief system, of what you know to be true for you. And so spiritually you might be kind of being very traditional at this time, and you might be kind of figuring out the rules of a new dogma or a new sect, or figuring out what freedom from those things is as well, because the devil can be that wild and untamed and unruly side too. So there's this kind of fearing restriction, yet desiring to be wild and free. In regards to beliefs and spiritual philosophies, and this is also just like a darker, more nature-driven kind of spiritual vibe. Now, in the future, you walk away from something, you attain something, and are very, very happy about it, and you share this happiness with others in your life, maybe a new somebody, and then there's lots of movement and passion and excitement that drives you forward, and could be rushing in towards this new beginning, or this new sprouting relationship or partnership of some kind. So in the 10th house, you have this big culmination. You have this attainment and satisfaction of finally getting to the end of some kind of career monument, some kind of career success. You're getting a reputation for being somebody who has it all, who has achieved quite a bit and is sitting pretty with your trophies there. You're being acknowledged by others. Your status is changing. If you work at a banquet hall of some kind, there's some sort of banquet kind of thing here with career and money and your 6th house. So you might have kind of birthed this new business as well. This could be a literal business of a catering business, or something like that. This is also being at a bar too. So if you opened a bar and you're behind the counter, I can see that going like that. There is a progression from feeling powerless about some sort of emotional insecurity or emotional dissatisfaction, and going towards something that is emotionally fulfilling and makes you feel warm and tingly inside, and that ending up being like, it could be a friend becomes a lover, or you partner up with a friend or an associate of some kind, and in order to make this achievement a reality, or make this achievement happen in the near future. um, I see that, like, this person would be very kind of slightly rebellious, maybe, or just they'd be unique. There'd be something unique about this person. They'd be different than a lot of other people that you've dated before. They could be more zany and sporadic. But it's emotionally fulfilling, whatever it is. This, if it's a job, it's more on the go, um, meeting new people. If you're driving for your job as well, you might be sitting down a lot, and so this this could be this kind of what's the word? That's kind of in a framework, right? So if you're driving for work, you're really in a box all day. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. You're in a box all day, so it's like it could be really restricted, right? So you're restricted to a small space, maybe, but you're feeling comfortable and happy doing it, and maybe meeting new people. You might meet new friends this way. Um, if you're a cab driver, also, this is something that's coming through. Um, or an Uber driver, something like that. Anyway, there is some sort of friend that will become a lover, or friend that will become a business partner, or you will meet a new friend during this time period, Capricorn. Um, there is a sharing of emotional passion, almost, for expression. So like emotional expression for somebody else, and it's reciprocated. So you could be enjoying time with friends this month, and that'll be good for you. So now we're going on to the 12th house. 12th house is the house of undoing. It's the house of institutions. It's also the house of dreams and the psychic, spiritual realm. Um, it seems like maybe going too fast might be your undoing, so it's really advising you to take your time with something. Um, really plan it out, really scope it out first. Don't just rush in, because there could be some sort of mishap that happens from that. Also, you might be spiritually feeling oh, like very connected energetically to something that you're passionate about, and so that's really driving you, and you're very passionate about maybe some sort of spiritual belief system, or taking a trip to a spiritual place, or we could be talking about astral travel as well, as this is a traveling card. And you're very passionate about, like, maybe figuring out how to do that, or you might have had an experience that, like, really kind of shot you off in this direction of, oh, I'm really interested in this sort of thing. Or this is also the bedroom, so this can be very sexual, kind of romantic kind of thing going on, and I really do feel it is, because for a lot of you it will be romantic, because there's just very few pentacles cards on the table, and there's a hell of a lot more of, like, vulnerability and intimacy and brazen sexiness, and just maybe something is finally, you've got a lot of spark going on in the bedroom. You might also have a lot of, you might be single, newly single at this time, or you might be finally coming into a little bit of confidence that you didn't know you had. And so you're going through a glow up, and you might be getting a lot of attention. You might just be a little bit more promiscuous than you normally are at this time. It's very well possible as well. Whatever it is, you might be taking trips when you sleep. You might be going places when you sleep, astral travel. You might be traveling to spiritual places during this month, taking a vacation, taking some time. Well, Capricorn, it seems like you need a congratulations. This May is going to be really good for you. If these are your cards, it will be very, very good for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you next time in June. Bye.